Welcome back, you rugged legends, to Grit on the Rocks podcast, the podcast where we pour stiff drinks, sling raw truths, and laugh at life's glorious messes. I'm your host, David, and today we're cracking open a question older than dirt and twice as messy, right? Why do some women love the bad boys? And why it usually never ends well. Subtitle could be Nice Guys Finish Last, or do they? Right? We're breaking down the leather jacket rebels that snag all the attention until the tires blow out and the nice guys left holding the wrench. We got listener emails, hotter than a bar fight, some whiskey-soaked wisdom, and enough grit to choke a Harley. So grab your glass, light that cigar if that's what you're into, and let's ride this one out.
This podcast is a Buenos Dias Media production.
This is the Grit on the Rocks podcast, where raw conversations meet smooth sips. Pull up a chair, pour your favorite drink, puff on your favorite cigar, and join us as we dive into the convos that matter. No scripts, no barriers, just unfiltered truth served straight up. Cheers to the real ones out there. Salud.
All right, gents. Let's get real here for a moment. You've seen it. Hell, you probably lived it. The bad boy rolls in, tattoos, smirk on his face, zero fucks given, and some women swarm to him like moths to a flame. Meanwhile, the nice guy's over here holding a woman's purse, nodding politely, and wondering why his I'll do the dishes line didn't seal the deal. It's a tale as old as whiskey and heartache, but today we're peeling back the hood to figure out why the engine keeps running and why it always stalls in a ditch.
The views and opinions expressed by the host, guest, and/or participants of this show do not necessarily reflect the opinions of Buenos Dias Media LLC, its associates, partners, and show sponsors. The content is intended for entertainment purposes and should not be construed as professional advice. Listener discretion is advised.
So why do some women love the bad boys? That is the question. First off, it's biology with a side of chaos. Evolution wired us to chase the alpha, the guy who looks like he could wrestle a bear, steal its cave, and still have energy to flirt. Bad boys ooze that vibe. Unpredictable, dangerous, a walking middle finger to the rules. Think James Dean on a motorcycle, or that dude at the bar who's got a scar and a story he won't tell. Some women don't want to date a spreadsheet, right? Example, nice guys. I'm looking at you with your 401k pickup lines. Women crave the thrill, the what's he gonna do next, right? It's like a rush. It's not about logic. It's about adrenaline. Let's take a hypothetical Tony here. He's a poster child for this. Tony's a mechanic with a rap sheet, slick hair, and a grin that says, I've dodged worse than you. Back in the day, he'd stroll into a party, light a cigarette inside, and by midnight, he had 3 women fighting over who got to ride shotgun in his beat-up Camaro. But the truth is, it usually never ends well. The bad boy charm, it's a sugar high, sweet until you crash. Tony's Camaro breaks down one night, and his girl of the week ditches him for a dude with a Prius and a steady job. Why? Because bad boys are sprinters, not marathoners. They're great at the chase. revving engines, breaking hearts, dodging commitment like it's a tax bill. But when the rent's due, the dog's sick, or she needs a shoulder instead of a smirk, they're out the door faster than you can say warrant. Nice guys might finish last in the sprint, but they win the long haul because reliability is sexier when the glitter wears off. And speaking of alphas, let's take a quick pause here to hear from one of our friends of the show.
Looking to connect with like-minded men who share your drive for success and passion for the finer things in life? Welcome to the Apex Gentlemen's Guild, a private members club for men who value ambition, camaraderie, giving back, and personal growth. For a limited time while we're fully remote, you can join the guild for free. Gain access to tons of motivational content, exclusive events, insightful discussions, and a network of high-performance individuals. Don't miss this chance to elevate your social circle. Request to join today at facebook.com/groups/Apex Gentlemen's Guild, or give us a like at facebook.com/Apex Gentlemen's Guild. The Apex Gentlemen's Guild, excellence forged in unity.
And we are back to Grit on the Rocks podcast. And we're talking about the age-old question of why do some women, and we say some because we don't like to shout out these blanket statements where we include everyone and we say everyone, every woman, every man. No. Why do some women love the bad boys? And usually we've seen, as history has shown us, and I say usually because it's not always, it doesn't end well. Okay, so I've been on both sides of the spectrum. Back in the days, right, I was the typical guy going along with my surroundings and my upbringing, just drifting with the currents of my situation, making not so bright decisions, and truth be told, not a goal in sight for my future. And even though I got girls that way, being who I was, eventually I understood that I needed to work on myself and build a solid foundation within myself if I wanted anything durable in life. So I had to learn how to be a hybrid. We'll talk more about that later. But let's break it down a little deeper. Bad boys thrive on three things: confidence, mystery, and rebellion. Confidence, check. The swagger says, I don't need you, but you want me. Mystery, yep. He's a puzzle with missing pieces, and she's hooked trying to solve it. Rebellion, oh hell yeah. He's flipping off the world, and she gets to feel like Bonnie to his Clyde. Problem is that Cocktail's got a hangover. Confidence turns to arrogance when he ghosts her texts. Mystery is just him hiding his true self, and rebellion turns out fighting the system doesn't pay the bills, my friends. So with that said, let's jump into some whiskey bar wisdom, right? Where you send your woes and I pour out answers smoother than barrel-aged rye. And tonight's first email comes to us from Kyle from Denver.
Whiskey bar wisdom. Ooh.
All right, there's nothing magical about it. Here, drink this. Tell me what's on your mind. Come on.
Whiskey bar wisdom. You provide the stories, we provide the opinions, unprofessional advice and the laughter. Grit on the Rocks podcast.
All right, so Kyle from Denver writes in through our Contact Us section of gritontheRocks.com, and he says, Hey, David, been hooked on Grit on the Rocks since I found it. Keeps me sane after work. Thank you. I'm 29, single, and stuck in a nice guy hell. I'm the guy who holds doors, pays for dinner, texts back fast, basically. I'm a golden retriever in a flannel. Meanwhile, my ex dumped me for a dude with face tattoos and a motorcycle who, quote unquote, lives free. She said I was too safe. Now I'm watching her post pics with this clown while I'm eating takeout alone. I don't want to be a jackass, but how do I stop finishing last without turning into a bad boy poser? Great question, Kyle. Kyle, my man, you are a diamond in a dumpster fire. Let me explain. I feel your pain. I mean, takeout solo just sucks, right? It stings worse than cheap bourbon. Your ex chased the bad boy buzz. Tattoos and a bike scream, quote unquote, danger. While your flannel might be saying dependable. But here's the pour. You don't need to trade your soul for a Harley to win. Women don't ditch safe for chaos. They ditch boring for electric. You say you're a retriever? Good. Listen, loyalty is gold. You got to sharpen those teeth. Stop texting back like a bot. Make her wait a bit. Wonder where you are. Ditch the yes man vibe. And the next date, you pick the spot. Lead the charge. Say no to something small. Mean it. Confidence, not cruelty, is the ticket. Listen, my friend. Quiet grit beats loud noise. Get a hobby that's got edge. Hit the gym. Fix a car or climb a damn mountain or something. But show up with a story that she can't scroll past. You're not too safe. You're probably being predictable. Mix in some mystery, hold your ground, and watch the tide turn. And your ex's bad boy, he will crash soon enough. But the guy she regrets losing, it's going to be you, my friend. So stay golden, Kyle. Just add some growl. Salud. All right. So now, for those of us who pay attention, we have seen this play out many times before. And we can take out the lessons from these, right? Situations we've seen so that we don't make the same mistake. And this goes out to men and women alike. See, I saw this play out with a bartender. She dated a bad boy. He had snake tattoos, a gravel voice, rode a Harley like he was born on it. She'd giggle about how he'd peel out of the lot at 2 a.m., leaving her breathless. 6 months in, she's crying that this guy borrowed her rent money for a new exhaust pipe and bailed. Enter new guy, right? A plumber, quiet. He showed up with flowers and fixed up her sink. Not flashy at all, but steady. Guess who's still around 3 years later? Plumber's no pushover. He's got grit, just not the kind that leaves skid marks on the street. So listen up, all you nice guys out there. My friends, do not despair. Your edge isn't dead. It's dormant. Sleeping. Women don't want doormats. They want men with backbone who don't need a leather jacket to prove it. Bad boys get the spotlight because they're loud. You get the win because you play the long game, calculated and smart. Now listen. You always need to have stashed away some of that bad boy spice. This I recommend to everyone. It doesn't matter how nice you are. You got to have like that mixture, right? That bad boy spice just hidden away somewhere, right? Where you can pull it out and use as you need. Remember, confidence, not chaos. Always have it and wield it with purpose. Tell her no sometimes. Take her on an adventure. Let her wonder about you a bit. Then deliver the goods. And most importantly, be there when it counts. That's the hybrid she'll brag about to her friends. And this is something we all need to learn, how to be a hybrid. You're a nice guy, right? Because you're responsible, you have goals, you have dreams, you step up when it's needed, you take care of business, you do what you got to do as a man, right? But you're there when it counts. But you also have that spice to you. Sometimes you say no, or sometimes, you're a badass in certain areas of your life. You could be a man of peace, but you can also be a man that, when pushed, reacts, right? And you're not just a yes man or a doormat, as we said before. Bottom line, women love bad boys for the ride until the wheels fall off. Nice guys, you're the rebuild kit. Own that, and you'll finish first when it matters. I want to know how this hits you, the listener, or if you're watching on YouTube. If you haven't subscribed, hit that like and subscribe button. But I want to know in the comments how this comes across to you. Have you been the nice guy? Have you been the bad boy? Have you learned how to be the hybrid? Let us know, or go to gridontherocks.com, scroll down to the Contact Us section, and send us your message. And now let's jump into some Barstool banter.
Barstool Banter, brought to you by Buenos Dias Media, where great stories come to life. Welcome to Barstool Banter, the segment where your wildest, funniest, and most unforgettable stories take center stage. Whether it's that crazy night out with the guys, a hilarious encounter at the bar, a day out with the family, or an unforgettable moment with friends, we want to hear it all. Each week, we dive into your emails, share the best stories, and pick our favorite one, and who knows, maybe even win a prize. So grab a drink, light it up, pull up a stool, and let's get into some Barstool banter.
All right. So let's get into some Barstool banter, where you send your wildest tales and hot takes, and we chew them up like we're 4 beers deep. So as usual, I try to keep the messages within the topic. That doesn't always work that way, but today we have 3. And the first one comes from Nick from Raleigh. It says, David, love the show. It is my Friday night ritual with a porter. I'm 34 and my sister's dating a bad boy disaster. He's 40. He lives in a van, calls himself a quote-unquote free spirit. Last weekend, he borrowed her car to chase a vibe and wrecked it. And told her that insurance is a scam. She's still swooning while I'm over here ready to deck him. Why is she blind to this train wreck? And how do I snap her out of it? Nick, your sister is caught up in the bad boy tractor beam. Van life, free spirit bullshit are just red flags wrapped in charm. She's blind because he's selling danger and freedom. It's like catnip till they crash. Literally. You can't deck him. That's not really going to solve anything, at least not yet. But stage a wake-up call. Next time she gushes, say, sis, he's not a rebel. He's a bum with a steering wheel. Point out the wreckage that her car is. Point out to her sanity and ask what's free about mooching. Plant the seed. Then let her trip over his chaos. She'll see when the vibe runs out of gas. Stay steady, Nick. You're the brother she'll thank later. All right, so let's move to our next one that comes from Matt from Austin. It says, hey, David, your podcast is the only thing keeping me from losing it. I'm 27, work construction, and thought I had a shot with a girl at a bar. Smart, funny, a total catch. I'm chatting her up, being my solid self, when this bad boy wannabe rolls in, leather vest, greasy hair, smells like an ashtray. He interrupts and says, you look like you need a real man, and she giggles off with him. I'm left with my beer and my pride. Are nice guys just screwed, or am I missing something? Let me get comfortable here. Yikes, that's what I gotta say. That's ballsy. But listen, Matt, I understand like this and that's a total gut punch, but you're not screwed. You're just outgunned in the flash department. Greasy vests, one with bravado, rude, short, but not bold. She giggles because he hijacked the moment, not because you're chopped liver. But what's the lesson? Nice guys need swagger, not just solidity. First of all, a woman who does that, let's put this out there first. A woman who does that, she deserves every bit of regret she's going to get afterwards. But if you're one of those who still aims for the chase, next time, don't just let any clown steal your stage. Cut in with a grin and say, real men don't need props, pal. Own the room, crack a joke, make her laugh your way. You've got the good, right? You're in construction, right? That's a great incarnate. Just crank the volume. Dust off that pride. Matt, next round's yours. But again, in my world, a girl who just leaves like that deserves what she gets, right, in the future for choosing leather vests. A situation like that, I don't know exactly how I would react. But I don't think I'd be like, I guess it depends on the situation, right? But the truth is, like, to have the balls to do something like that in front of another guy, like that deserves a, not inciting violence, but just saying. But to keep the peace, listen, a girl's like that probably not worth pursuing. But, again, a girl who does that, she deserves what she gets for choosing a guy like leather vest. And you, my friend, just let karma do its thing and enjoy the show. Cheers, brother. And the last one here, we have Greg from Boise. He says, David, your show's my go-to with a cigar and a stout. I'm 36. I was the nice guy forever. Flowers, compliments, the works. Dated this girl who dumped me for a bad boy, dude with a lip ring and a rap sheet. 6 months later, she's back, crying that he cheated and pawned her TV. I took her out for coffee, listened, but didn't take her back. Now she's pissed I'm not her rebound. Did I dodge a bullet or am I too cold? Greg, buddy, you're a goddamn sniper. You dodged a hollow point and kept you cool. She ran to the bad boy rodeo, got bucked off, and expected you to be her cleanup crew. Coffee was classy, but not caving to her is a real flex. That's steel, brother. You're not cold, you're wise. She's pissed because nice guys are supposed to fold. And you rewrote the script. Bullet dodged, brother. Her TV's gone, but your spine's intact. Next time she sniffles, hand her a tissue and say, listen, lip ring's hiring. Greg, I gotta say, you're a fan favorite now. Keep the stout flowing. All right, gents, that is Grit on the Rocks for today. Remember that bad boys snack the spotlight because they're loud and wild until the chaos bites back. Nice guys, well, you're the long game. Steady, strong, and worth a damn when the dust settles. Remember, guys, aim to be a hybrid of the bad boy and nice guys. Borrow some swagger, hold your ground, and watch the tables turn. Keep those emails coming. Hit us at gritontheRocks@gmail.com or go to gritontheRocks.com, scroll down to the Contact Us section, and send us your message. Remember to always to keep your spirits high, your cigars lit, your glasses full, and your conversations meaningful. Till next time, this is Grit on the Rocks, a Buenos Dias Media production. Cheers.
Grit on the rocks tonight, men with hearts like iron bars, tackling life's endless fights, scars becoming stars, diving deep into the void, working streams like candy, family bonds sometimes destroyed, like Fitness built with grit and sweat. Life ain't always fair, don't you dare forget how the battle we all share. Fitness built with grit